Hi musicians, it's Miss Leminski. This is the Greenbelt Part 2. Again, I am just doing a video for all instruments because I'm losing my voice today. So in Part 1 of the Greenbelt Part 1, we went through a lot of the first skills that are on our Greenbelt sheet. And those are great things, like every time you get your instrument out, go through each of those skills. Finger push-ups, doing ants, pizzicato, and arco, and doing those different rhythms. Now we are going to do songs on page 17 in this video. So grab your book. If you don't have it yet, pause this video, go get your book, and open up to page 17. All right, on page 17, our first thing to do is just to notice there are no note names here. So I'm gonna give you a hint that on this page you are only using your A string and your D string, okay? Take a second to find those two on your instrument. Cellos and violas, this is your two highest strings. Violins and basses, your two middle strings. Okay. If you look at these, even if you don't play cello, this is in a cello book, you can tell where the notes stay the same or when they change, okay? On these pages, we are going to use just the idea of tilting our bow to get a new string. You actually see that on picture up on top of your page, what it looks like on a real instrument. Instead of doing bow lifts to get to a new string like we did in the last video, all we're going to do, tilt our elbow, and we can actually teeter-totter between strings. Okay. What you're listening for while you play. A smooth sound. When you tip, move your elbow just enough. Try to not get onto the lower strings, or if you have a violin, getting onto the way highest string. We don't want any string other than A or D for these ones. Okay. I'm going to play through number 49. Double check. This one does start on your A string, and then we're going to tilt to D, go back when we repeat it. Number 49 sounds like, I'm going to check my ring fingers covering the I on my bow. Wrap like that. Make sure my thumb is bent. Pointer finger leaning, pinky tall. Okay. This should look the same for violas, cellos, and violins. Basses, if you're watching, make sure your pinky is wrapped around. Okay. This is number 49. Ready, go. Rest and tip, and here I go. Rest, tip, and then I'll repeat. Rest, tip to D, and here I go. Pause and try that again. Listen to your strings. Are you getting only one string at a time? Are you getting a good sound? If it's crunchy, oh my gosh, that sounds bad. Make sure you use a long bow. You might need to lighten up a little bit too. So crunchy sound, the two biggest helpers are, number one, use a longer bow. And lighten up. You don't need to be pressing super hard. Okay. All right, so that's if it's crunchy. If you have a sound that is really faint, or it just sounds like someone, it's like that whispery sound on an instrument like this, you probably need to use a heavier arm. Sink in. Here's the kind of sound we want to get. On your very lowest string, you usually have to dig in extra hard. Awesome. Especially on a cello or a bass, but even on viola violin, a heavier arm for your lowest and thickest string. All right, we're going to look at two more songs that are on page 17, so you can know what they sound like, what to expect, what I'm looking for. because these are testing songs for your green belt. All right, looking back at we're going to go to number 50 next. Check. Does number 49 and 50 start with the same note? They do, okay? So this song also starts with A. Say the pattern with me. Notice it's going to change here. Starts with A, rest, rest, D, rest, rest. A, rest, rest, D, rest, rest. Okay. Even if you're playing a different instrument, not playing a cello right now, the pattern of notes is the same. It's always A, no matter what instrument, always D, no matter what instrument. If you are wondering, what on earth is that symbol on top? That is the one that tells us we want to do a pull down bow. What on earth is the V? Why is that there? That's reminding us that we want to do an up bow just after that. Okay, so again, starting close to your frog. Whoops, I did the wrong note to start off the song, but you saw me start with a down and then up, or like a pull then push, pull then push. Okay, let's try out 50 together. Get yourself set with your best instrument posture. Violins and violas, check that your instrument is flat on your shoulder. Can she do it 2 instruments at the same time? There you go. Flat or a little bit of tilt up. We really don't want it to be tilting down. Okay. So on A string first. Ready, go. Rest, then tip to D. Rest, then tip. Rest, then tip. Then it's done. The song is not very hard, and that's on purpose, so that you can listen to your sound, check that you're doing a pull when it's time to do a pull down, or doing a push when it's time to do a push up. Okay. Let's look at the last one for our green belt, number 52. It's called a strand of DNA. This one does not start on A string, it starts on D. Let's look at what's at the very end of this song. I noticed at the very end, after all this, like D, 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 A, D, D, A, D, there is a bow lift. This little comma or apostrophe is the symbol for a bow lift. Okay. I also noticed that this song ends with a repeat sign. This is a song to do 2 times. All right, take a listen through on this first one. I'll play on violin, and then you try playing. Okay. We're gonna start with your best posture. Violins or violas, keep it nice and flat. Starting on your D string. Sounds like this. Lift, reset, then replay. Pause this. Try out the song a few times. Make sure you know what each symbol means for you to do, and have somebody watch you, especially if they know how to play an instrument or they've been watching this video with you. All right, well, those are the things that happen on our green belt sheet. Please be working on all of the things that are on here, and be ready each time that you play to check for your best bow hold. It makes the hugest difference in your sound. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.